Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be doing a little something different. I have a palette up on the chopping block. It is the Dirty Martini from Glamlite, and I'm going to be doing 2 looks with you guys, one on each eye, plus my full base, giving my full thoughts, musings, that kind of situation. So if you want to see me do a couple looks with this palette and know what I'm using on my base, then be sure to stay tuned. If you're new here, don't forget to smash the subscribe button before you leave. And of course, if you like this video, give it a big ol' like. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the look. So yeah, like I mentioned in the intro, this is gonna be a little bit different from other videos that I've done. I'm just priming with my Bobbi Brown cream base thingy. Because I'm gonna do 2 looks. I normally do 3, but I'm just gonna do 2 today. And instead of doing 2 full face looks, I'm gonna do 1 look on one eye and 1 look on the other eye. And then I'm gonna do my whole base with you guys. So it's definitely gonna be different than what I usually do, but it's something that I'm kind of looking to move towards. Maybe even if I still do 3 looks, I'll do one eye, and then a full look. Like, you know what I mean? I do want to use the Glamlite Dirty Martini palette today. And the reason I chose this palette is because it is kind of on the chopping block. I'm just gonna set the lid real quick. And the reason that it's on the chopping block isn't because the formula isn't good, because the formula is so good. Like, that is what keeps it hanging on in my collection, because the formula is beautiful. The thing is, I'm kind of falling out of love with green eyeshadow. And I find it so hard to believe because, well, I really like the way green eyeshadow looks on me in general. But I used to love doing green eyeshadow looks, and like, I really just don't anymore. Like, if you follow me over on IG, then you'll know, like, I don't really do green looks anymore. I'm just having one of those days where I'm so thirsty, I feel like I'm dying. Do you guys ever have those? I'm literally like, oh. But so I wanted to pull it out and play with it and do some different stuff with it a little bit to kind of help me decide if it's something I want to keep in my collection or if it's something that someone else would probably get a lot better use out of. I'm going to go in first with this Dirty Martini shade out here. And just build this from the transition up into this lid space here. And I've only done, I think, like two or 3 looks with this palette ever. So I haven't used it a ton. So that is another thing. But like I said, the formula was good when I used it. Oh my gosh. I'm in such a habit of like doing both eyes. Okay. So we're not doing that, Megan. We're not. Oopsie. Well, whatever I use over there, I'm sure I'll be able to blend, you know, I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah. So weird only doing one eye. Next, I think that I want to go, what do I want to do with this? Maybe do like this on the outer and then this on the inner, and then we'll do one of the shimmers. So I'm going to use the dry vermouth shade. And yeah, these mattes are beautiful. They blend really great. It's just not a color story I reach for like I thought I would, because I'm just not as into greens. If you've watched a lot of my declutter content, and you will see I've gotten rid of a lot of my green based palettes. I think the only ones I have left that have a lot of green are this one, Gemini, and my mini gold. Like, that's literally it. Because I just don't really use it. So, I don't know. I'm going to go into this green olive shade. Looks really pretty, really vibrant. So, that's exciting. And I'm just using a smaller brush to tap this on. And these shimmers also are like so sparkly. They're stunning. I just don't reach for them. The same with, I have another Glamlite palette. It's the chocolate one. Super pretty. Never reach for it. Don't know why. Like, do you guys ever have those palettes that, like, there's nothing wrong with them, they look beautiful, but you never use it? If you do, what are those in your collection? Because I have a handful of them, and I've been doing, you know, a really good job at just like decluttering stuff that I have like that. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this shade on my finger and just kind of tap it in the center just to give us some sparkle. But yeah, if you have any of those in your collection, what palettes are those? I'm curious to know. We might have some similar ones. And maybe I will film a video like that after this, where of like the palettes that are still left in my collection, that there's nothing wrong with them, I just don't use them. I might do that. It wouldn't be a super long video because I don't have a lot of those left in my collection because I've done a good job at decluttering this year. So let's see. What should we use? Maybe the blues, do you think? I'm going to use this blue here. And that's what I'm going to use up in here. And I think it's going to go over that green just fine. No issues. As you guys can see, these mattes legitimately just blend themselves. Like, really nice formula. Really, really nice. And I think I'm going to take it all over the lid as well, because there's not another blue shade that we could do a gradient with. So I'm going to take it all over. And then I'll use the dark matte blue, mix it up right here. I'm going to use that out in my outer corner. We'll see how that goes. And adjust the mirror, sorry. But, yeah, I don't know what it is. But I have a handful of palettes like that, so maybe I will film something. I'm definitely curious to know if you have any palettes like that, and if so, you know, what they are. Yeah, these mattes are nice. A little bit of a patch over here, which sometimes I get that over on this lid. Not really sure why. But I think a lot of people have that too, that like one eyelid that gets that weird patch and nobody knows what is going on with it. I think I'm going to use this shade Jen here all over, and then I think I'm going to use a little bit of this as well. So I'm going in with the shade Jen all over this here. Yeah, it's really pretty. I just think, like, as a whole, it's crazy how much your makeup preferences can change over time. Now I'm gonna go into On the Rocks here, because like I got this, I think it was, they launched this either at the beginning of this year or it was the end of last year. But already my preferences have just changed so much, and I want to go in a little bit heavier with this shade. I've decided to kind of match the vibe we have going on the other lid. There we go. Pretty. But yeah, it's just like crazy how much our makeup preferences change, even just since I've been like in the in the makeup community, which in, well, I'm not sure when this will go up, But the end of October, I think it's like October 26th, I'll have to look, is my like 3-year makeup Instagram anniversary. So it's interesting just to see over that time span how much my preferences have changed. But really, you can usually tell how much your preferences have changed even just over like the course of a year. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna clean this up. There was fallout. That's fine. That's literally why I do my eyes first, so I don't have to mess around with cleaning that up, because it can just be so difficult to like clean that up once it's on your powdered base. So I just like don't even risk it. Don't mess around with that. Jeez. Yeah, and there's a lot of fallout on my desk too. I'm gonna wipe it off. Hang on. All right, now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of my Fido and Mirrored Moonlight to start building some glow on my face. I'm also gonna wash my brushes today after I film this video. So PSA, if you need to wash your brushes, go get them. I know it's the literal worst, but gotta try your best to keep that bacteria at bay, sis. Gotta keep it at bay. I'm trying to think what's gonna match me best, because I have a really mixed bag of things going on my vanity right now. I think I will, I'm not going anywhere, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna go with my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation, and I'm gonna try the shade 210. I think 160 will still be a little bit light for me right now, so we're gonna give this a go, and then we'll just bring her on down the neck if we have to. You know the drill. We've all been there. Also, I don't know what's happening, you guys, but I've kind of been back into using a sponge over the last like 2 weeks. I think I'm just enjoying such a much lighter coverage, which you can achieve that with a brush. But I'm just feeling the way it looks with the sponge the past couple weeks. I'm by no means getting rid of my foundation brushes because I love them, and this is probably going to be a short-lived thing. But I don't know, in case you guys are curious, because speaking of makeup preference changes, I have not used a sponge really in like, I would say close to 2 years. So it's a little bit different that I'm like kind of into it again, but I don't know. Maybe it'll just be one of those things where like I use this sponge until it's like, needs replaced, and then that'll be the end of that. Could be one of those things, because this one was getting like pretty dirty, and I pulled it. That's how I started using it. I pulled it out to wash it, and then I just kind of started using it. So maybe it'll fade out after that. I think that this match looks pretty good. It's not too dark for me, which is nice. For concealer, I'm still using a mixture of the Charlotte Tilbury and my Hourglass. I'm just working on panning these, and it's taking a little bit because I'm only using a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury one because it's too light for me. And I'm mostly using the Hourglass one. And it's going pretty good, honestly. Like, I can completely see the bottom. So it's literally just what's on the spatula, and then I'm going to be like scraping around the insides, which is exciting. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to pick it. Well, I know I'm not going to pick one up right away because I have a card of concealer samples, and then I have quite a handful of other concealers in my collection. that I would like to begin working on as well, especially like my KVD one, because I love that one. But I like kind of set it aside for the summer, so I want to get back into that one, and I feel like I would like to finish it. I've really been enjoying how we've been mixing up the bronzer game, so I'm going to pull out one I haven't used in a while. It's the Danessa Myricks Balm Contour in the shade 2. I really like this one. I hadn't pulled it out in a while though, because I was trying to pan it and it was taking a very long time. So I just kind of got frustrated with it, and after I hit the pan, I like put it away for a little bit, like one of those things. He's out there like cry barking. Tito probably has a freaking bone that he wants and he's being baby. Literally, I know Hector's puppy, but he's also the biggest freaking baby. Like, oh my goodness, he's ridiculous. Spoiled, crying little boy is what he is. Yeah, I think that tone looks nice on me. It can pull a little cooler. It's not my favorite tone on me, but I think that it looks good. For blush, I'm going to use something I haven't used in a while. This is the Kaja, the Whipped Dream in shade 3, Rose Macaron. My friend Steph sent this to me in friend mail, and I had taken the stopper out because I was having a hard time getting it out of the component, and I think that's just because of the texture being like whipped, that it was like struggling a little bit. But so it makes it kind of messy, but look how nice that is. Like, I know it looked really intimidating at first. It does have more of a matte finish in my opinion. But it blends out really nice, holds its opacity, and it doesn't, I think it looks really good on the skin, honestly. So it just takes me a little longer now because, like I said, it's a bit on the messy side. I thought about potentially like trying to pan it because of that, but it's really fairly new to my collection. So like, if I'm gonna focus on panning a certain blush, I feel like it should probably be like a little bit of an older one. Okay, and then just for fun, I'm gonna use some of the Nabla highlight on my cheek. I don't usually use powdered highlight on my cheeks, but I'm just gonna do some cleaning after this today, I think. And then I'm gonna shower and I'm gonna get ready because we're going somewhere. But yeah, so I think that it gives a little bit of a glow. I just think that like the glowy base is so much more my preference, and it's just so much prettier to me than doing like a powdered highlight personally. I'm going to do my brows and then I'll be back. All right, I definitely got carried away with that brow over there. Thank God we're not going anywhere. I'm gonna dip back into my Skin Glaze and I'm gonna just highlight this little brow bone area over here. Yeah, I don't know what happened over there, you guys. It just wildin' out. I'm gonna do some finishing touches to this look. I think I'm gonna just dip into this dark shade with a pencil brush, and I'm gonna just add a little more definition to this, if you will, and bring it down on the lower lash line. And then same on the other side, I'm gonna go back into this dark blue, add just a little bit out here to bring some of that back, and then, took it right into the creases of my concealer. Love that for me. Might be able to tap it out a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to Gonna have to wash this now. But yeah, so I'm gonna just go ahead, pop off, do some liner, mascara, and then I'll be back for some final thoughts. Okay, you guys, so here is the finished look. I will zoom you in so you can get a better look, and hopefully it'll show off some of the sparkles a little bit better. Honestly, I think that both eye looks look really pretty. I do. I think they both turned out really gorgeous. I think that if you've been eyeing this palette and you like, you know, this kind of color story, I think you would love it. I think you would really enjoy it. Just like thinking about it though, like at the end of the day, like these aren't looks that I'm going to create unless I'm doing something like this. And I'm really trying to curate my collection to stuff that I just like to wear on a daily basis, like to reach for a lot more, would use more often so it looks and you can see how loved it is. And I just feel like, you know, I've had this palette for like a year at least-ish. And if I've only used it less than a handful of times, like the likelihood of me reaching for it if I keep it just feels kind of low. So I'm gonna be thinking about that moving into the end of the year, because at the end of the year / beginning of January, I am gonna be doing some collection tours, and during those collection tours, I'm gonna be also decluttering items. So yeah, I'm gonna be keeping that in mind moving forward. But if you like this video and if you liked this style of video in terms of doing 2 different eye looks with a full base, please let me know by hitting the thumbs up button or in the comments, because I think this is something that I might start incorporating more, just because it takes less time on my end, but you guys get to see more than one look with the palette. So that's kind of the direction I'm thinking about moving in, but let me know how you feel. If you made it to the end of the video, I just wanted to thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!